just having a moment. And I said, you know what? Let me record because somebody else is going through something similar. So I was going through pictures and I came across a picture here. It has my two sisters, my brother on my mother's side. I'm in the picture, a little cut off in the back, and my brother-in-law. So now one of my sisters in the picture is in the hospital, not doing too well, has been back and forth in the hospital over the last few years, just going through a lot. Physical, mental, it just seems like she's been going through a lot. She's been accomplishing a lot of things in her personal life, but every time she seems to feel like she's getting some kind of footing, something else happens. And then my brother, who's in this picture, when we took this picture, he was just visiting us. When I saw him, he was very skinny. And because he's somebody, I've grown up with him, it's like my mind was in denial to what I saw. It's just like I still saw him as his self, even though his body was very frail because he was on drugs. And see, he's been on drugs since he was a teenager. I suspected that he was on it. I didn't know to what extent. So he was just visiting us, and at that time he was running away from drugs. He wanted to get away. He didn't know how to make a way out. A few weeks later, we went and got him. Me and my brother-in-law, who's in this picture. My brother-in-law heard him on the phone, heard the tone of his voice, and was like, we gotta go and get him. He's in a lot of trouble. You would think he was his son, the way he said, let's do this. And I said, I'm down. So it was just me and my brother-in-law. We got a van and we drove from Georgia because I was living in Georgia at that time and my brother was in New York. So we headed out there, went and got him. So that trip took us 18 hours because we ran into rush hour. And when we got to my brother, he was still running. He was literally running. He said he hadn't slept all night. Said he was running from the drug dealers. He didn't want it anymore, and he knew that they knew what he needed, and he was just trying to get away. So when we finally caught up to him in the wee hour of the morning, he had to go to the 19th floor to get his stuff. And he had a lot of stuff, like a hoarder. And he was only living in a room in one of his friend's apartments. So he was going up and down the elevator, up and down, and he said, I don't need help. And when he came down, he was just throwing trash out. He went back up. He threw trash. He must have made 20, 25 trips up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. It was something to behold. Soon as he got inside the van and we closed the door, he fell out. He fell asleep like so when we were on the road at some point, my brother-in-law said, tell her what you've been dealing with, because he was coming to my house. And he says, cocaine. But we got to find out later on it was crack. So my brother's in this picture and he's very skinny. This is right before he reached out to us for help and said, I'm ready to go. And my sister on the left is deceased now. So when I look at this picture, I see all of my siblings, and it's flooring to see that two of them are still here and going through some things, physical stuff, psychological stuff, drugs. The other one is gone, and I'm the only one left. And my mother is still here, but she can't talk. And it's like, who would have known? So even though I have my children and I have my grandchild and I have a whole bunch of family now on my father's side that are present, and I'm grateful for them because it seemed like I met them in February of last year. In June, my sister told me she had cancer, and they've been in my life tight for that whole time. And then a year later, my sister left. A year later, she passed in July. So it's like as my sister left, and then as she went in the hospital for the last time, the other sister came out, and it's just been up and down, up and down. But I'm looking at these pictures. I look at the picture of when my brother got married. This is all of us together, all four of us. This was the last time we were together, and this was in 2012. The last time all four of us was together. Who would have thought that 13, 14 years later, we would not be smiling together? But, because I'm a woman who allow myself to cry, and I am not made to drown in my tears. I'm not made that way. I allow myself to cry and I trust whatever it is that's going on right now. Because you know that song that says what doesn't kill you makes you stronger? It is so true. It is not my belief that when one is suffering, we should suffer too. It's my belief that when one is strong, one is weak, the other one has to be strong enough to hold them up. I just have to remind myself that this is my life. And we don't know how long any of us have on this side. So that's why we can't afford to cave in and throw in the towel. The choices I made were not better than my siblings, they were different. The timeline we were given were all different. We were born at different times, we will leave at different times. Nobody knows the suffering that one will endure. Nobody knows. A lot of them don't even know the trials and the challenges that I've had to face without them. I just want someone to be encouraged and know that you're going to have to dig from a faith that is way in you. You're going to have to pull from your ancestors, the God you serve, the Creator, the Most High, people that pray, people that have their thoughts and their heart with you. You're going to have to draw from many places. You're going to have to talk about what it is that you're experiencing. You're going to have to allow yourself to cry. You're going to have to be honest with yourself. You're going to have to journal and write down your feelings. You're going to have to get it out. We're not here to be broken, but I say allow yourself to feel what it is that you feel. Don't deny that you feel it because sometimes what happens is that some people when they have a certain religious practice and a religious faith, they believe that they're not supposed to be feeling sad. They don't allow themselves to feel sad because to them it's a sign that they don't have any faith. I still believe that tear ducts were given to you for a reason and for you to use them to release that stress and that tension. Because in order for you to do the stressful things over and over and over again, you have to release that stress. It's like taking a pin and sticking it in a balloon. You have to let the air out. Because just like Malidoma Patrice Tomei talks about how all of this pain is like a volcano eruption ready to explode. So where it will explode, nobody knows. So it can come out as anger. And then you start lashing out at people that you love and people that you don't even know. You're just full of rage because you got all of this pain in you. But sometimes people also, when they're going through a lot of pain, they tend to punch at anything and everything, and they never stop. They never stop to think about what is it I'm feeling right now? Let me just sit with this feeling. Let me just be alone. But then know when to do things that will feed you. I mean, you have to at the same time feed your spirit with things that will lift you up. And it doesn't have to be anything elaborate. It could be just talking to your plants. Or going for a walk, or looking at the sun, or feeling the sun on your skin, or like today when I walked outside and I'm looking at even the twigs on the floor, I could hear them talking to me. And I said, isn't this so powerful? Because it's been so cold that I haven't really been able to walk the way I usually walk in the mornings. I mean, it's been bitter cold. And it's been rainy and it's been cloudy, all of those things. So today was one of our sunniest days, and I went outside and I looked at the twigs. I looked at the branches. I looked at the things that had fallen from the tree, and I could feel them reviving me. So it doesn't have to be encouraged. Do the things you love, and don't take what you're going through, your family's going through, out on yourself. Know that you have got to be strong. Obviously, I mean, when it's very obvious that this is something that you were assigned to do, you're going to have to know in your heart that you are equipped. Because there's no way in the world that all of this would be put on you if you were not equipped to do it.